Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of South Africa. Are we serious? Because what unfolded in Parliament this week was not an inquiry. It was a masterclass in attitude evasiveness and Olympic-level mental gymnastics starring none other than Robert McBride. Now, McBride wasn't summoned to Parliament for a motivational talk. He wasn't there to drop life lessons. He was there to account, to explain, to clarify. But what MPs got instead was a performance that felt less like testimony and more like a badly rehearsed courtroom drama where the witness thinks he is the main character. From the first minute, McBride decided cooperation was optional. He refused to properly disclose his current job, waved around an outdated CV like it was a sacred scroll, and started invoking legislation like a man trying to dodge questions with legal smoke bombs. MPs hadn't even warmed their chairs and already he was rolling his eyes, pulling gestures, and acting like Parliament was interrupting his personal Netflix binge. An EFF MP said exactly what everyone was thinking. This man is not taking this committee seriously.
It's like he's just indifferent. He's just here. Oh, you called me here. It's giving us the same Mary Diaz vibes, what we experienced when we started with Mary Diaz. And we're not going to tolerate that behavior. We can't start off on this note. So we are pleading with Mr. McBride. Please take us serious here as Parliament. Do your work. You can't give. I mean, you should even feel embarrassed. You work for our whole state security agency as a whole director. And you even come here and you even just blatantly just say, oh, I didn't have time or I didn't have resources to update my CV and I gave my CD. Can we be taken serious as a country?
And she was being polite because what we were watching looked less like accountability and more like a man who arrived emotionally prepared to fight everyone, including the furniture. Then came the defensiveness. Oh, the defensiveness. Every question was treated like a personal insult. Every probe was met with counterattacks. Instead of answering, McBride chose to audition for a role as chief prosecutor of everyone else. He described General Mkhwanazi's briefing as military style, implying intimidation. He accused him of interfering in investigations. Then, with absolutely no proof, he floated suspicious insinuations about a murder, and when he was corrected, he casually backtracked like, oh, that was just my understanding.
Do you know how General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi found his way to the scene?
I don't know. All I know is the fact he was first on the scene.
So you don't know how he found his way to the scene?
No.
Do you know that General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi was a friend to a brother of Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi?
Very well. Very well. Even closer than Manda. Very well, I know that.
Do you know that brother?
Very well.
What's his name?
Is William.
The brother was working for
the brother got promoted, I think, to brigadier.
No, I'm saying at that time he was working for DPCI in Mpumalanga, correct? At the time of the incident.
I'm not sure sequence of events, whether he was promoted before or after, but I know he went to Mbombela.
No, I'm saying at that time, during the incident. That is what I'm saying to you, that he was working for DPCI in Mpumalanga.
I'm not sure if it was at that time. I can't remember sequence of events.
Now, if I say to you, General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi got a call from the brother of Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, who told him that his brother, Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, has been shot, and instructed or requested him to go to the scene, what would you say?
I'd say that's starting to make sense.
So you made an insinuation before this committee, before you even attained that information that I'm giving to you now. because that is what I'm putting to you. General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi found his way to the scene through a phone call he got from a brother of Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi.
Yeah, it's starting to make sense now.
Don't you think that you are being unfair to the people against whom you have made these allegations? Because as time goes by, I'm giving you information and you are changing your tone. And you are changing your tone having made adverse allegations against people. Because here, like the honorable member has said, that you are making a certain insinuation by saying his failure, Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, to attend the funeral and him being on the scene is inconsistent.
Yeah, that was my conclusion, my assumption that is inconsistent.
My understanding, sir, this is Parliament, not a WhatsApp group. But the real mess started when MPs dug into McBride's relationship with private investigators, because apparently IPID didn't have tools, but somehow had WhatsApp, private citizens, and sensitive data floating around like party snakes. Action SA MP Tereline James didn't come to play. She confronted him about discussing private credit information of South Africans with civilians. When asked why he didn't use official police structures, his answers twisted, turned, and somersaulted so much they should have earned him a gymnastics medal. First, SAPS didn't have tools. Then they did. Then he said he never said that. Then he said something else. Then he contradicted himself again. And when James said what everyone was thinking, you lied. McBride went into full denial mode. No, I didn't say SAPS.
In instances where everybody is at threat.
So you lied twice already to this committee.
Oh, that's absolutely untrue.
No, it is true because I have proof.
Well, you're avoiding the context.
I have proof, but this is not about context. I have the context and I have the proof that you were in conversation with these people almost daily. From 2016, you were reinstated, I think, in 2015, or when were you reinstated? 2016, early 2017, you were in contact with Sarah Jane almost every day. The two of you were going for drinks. The two of you had a romantic affair. I put it to you. Am I right?
No.
You did not?
No.
So your message is to Ms. Lee saying, can I see you, even if it just means we start by holding hands? I miss you, my darling. That is not romantic.
Well, if I said... No, if I said that, I always want to...
Sir, this is a recorded hearing, not a dream sequence. What MPs were watching was not confusion. It was selective memory with confidence. Then came the credibility hit list. He trashed Mkhwanazi, he trashed Patlane, he trashed Nkabinde. He basically handed out not credible stickers like free flyers at a robot. But interestingly, the people he defended just happened to be the ones aligned with his narrative. Funny how it works. And then we arrive at the Mdluli saga, where McBride's selective storytelling reached new heights. He suggested that Mkhwanazi had not meaningfully addressed the Mdluli issue, implying hypocrisy and omission.
Control of police has been happening for a long time. If you notice in the whole presentation of General Mkhwanazi, he didn't mention Mdluli, where it started from. He didn't mention it. Now, you can't leave out Mdluli in the whole thing of capture control, of wrong control. You can't leave it out. If you're doing an analysis, you'll speak about it. You will raise the history, where it starts from. It doesn't just fall out the sky and suddenly we capture it. It's an incremental process.
What should we rate of that? What should we rate of that exclusion? of Mdluli's name on the evidence of General Mkhwanazi?
Quite frankly, you're the responsible person for making laws in the country. You decide what you must do.
No, but I'm saying, in terms of your own assessment, you are the one who's introducing a matter.
Except Mkhwanazi has a long public record of taking on the Mdluli case, suspending him, exposing political interference, and detailing pressure from politicians to leave Mdluli alone.
Now, when the minister communicates to you not to continue with cases against Mdluli, how does he do that? Does he write a letter? Does he call a meeting? How does he communicate that? Please stop cases against Mdluli.
Yeah, he called me into a meeting in his residence, and it is in his residence where he was in company of the Inspector General of Intelligence, Advocate Gabde, the late, where he says to me that the advocate was telling him that I forced her, that she must recommend that Mdluli be charged. That's where we had a debate, because I did not force her. And I told the minister, if you want me to do what you say I must do, put it in black and white. And they did not want to put it in black and white. Instead, he instructed the Inspector General to put it in black and white, so that I use the Inspector General's recommendations for me not to charge Mdluli. That is on a disciplinary part. But on the criminal part, it was not the minister directly, but it was Advocate Mkhwanazi from the NPA. I hope the members have got Advocate Bredenbach, who's an MP here, who's a member of this committee. Perhaps she must come and sit here and talk to ad hoc committee and explain what was her role on that case, because I understand that she was the one who was holding that criminal case against Mdluli, where she was instructed, from what I was told, to withdraw that case from court. That had already said. So why did she then comply with that instruction? I have no clue.
Now,
that's not silence, that's receipts. Yet, McBride's version quietly erased all that history. And when confronted, he didn't retract. He didn't correct. He just said, "That's what I know." Ah yes, the universal escape clause. This wasn't testimony. This was narrative engineering. It felt less like truth-seeking and more like reputation management. And MPs were not amused. The chairperson had to intervene repeatedly because McBride couldn't stop personalizing questions, throwing jabs, and derailing the process. It was like trying to conduct an orchestra while the violin player keeps screaming at the drummer. By the time the committee adjourned, frustration was thick. MPs openly said his conduct undermined the seriousness of the inquiry. And honestly, they were being kind. Because accountability is not about how smart you are. It's about how honest you are. And what South Africans witnessed was a man who treated Parliament like a nuisance, questions like insults, and contradictions like inconveniences. This was not clarity. This was chaos with confidence. And if this is the standard of how powerful figures respond when called to account, then no wonder the public is losing faith. No wonder our police system is in the mess it is today. Because when you dodge questions, insult the process, and rewrite history in real time, you are not protecting democracy, you are mocking it. Mzansi deserves better than this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mzansi Roast News. Be part of the process, be part of the narrative. Subscribe to Mzansi Roast News.